You need experience to get a job, and you need a job to get experience.
Oh, you're not gonna get a job when you, what are you gonna do with that degree? You're not gonna get a job.
There's so much versatility with the program, and there were so many different places that it could take me. And I was really curious to see what that journey would look like. Usually when folks ask me about communications, I talk about storytelling.
Learning how, like, the different ways you can connect with people through words, which is like oftentimes looked down upon, but like when you look at everything is words. Everything is a story. Everything is how to connect, and this is the degree that teaches you how to do that.
Strategic communications is about figuring out what narratives you need to tell in order to achieve a goal. It is figuring out how to ask the right questions in order to find the solution to a problem or to find an opportunity that you can pursue. Comms is a kind of field where if you know that you like to write, if you know that you like to think, if you know that you like to ask questions, then you can probably find a career for you.
I always wanted to do things when I was on campus. I wanted to be out and exploring and meeting people, and that's not super conducive to getting coursework done.
Coming from U of C and like the false perception, I say false perception, right? Because it's like when you're coming from like higher university, when you're coming into McEwen, and McEwen's really young, coming in with the very much like I'm not even supposed to be here, I can do better, like just really false stuff. And then like 3 months in, I was like, holy crap, this is like even a way better experience than like when I was at U of C.
I was the very first cohort of the communications degree at McEwen. So we had really small classes. We got to work really collaboratively with each other and also with the instructors to sort of develop what we needed out of the program.
There were so many opportunities to take advantage of, and there were so many professors that were like, you know, here's this cool opportunity, here's this journal you could submit to, here's this, you know, extracurricular that you could look at. There were so many different options, and I really wanted to, you know, jump in and try all of them, because you never know what's going to spark that little extra bit of joy that might take you along a different path.
When I was in my communications degree, I worked quite a bit. So I took on a lot of volunteer roles, I took on a lot of contract work, and I also worked part-time just to sort of pay the bills. But I took on whatever kind of work I thought I could do in order to progress my career. So to learn different skills, to experience different experiences, to get experience, especially in different industries, because it helped to expand what the world of communications really looked like for somebody.
I did everything. So and then at the time there was no minors, right? So I was a communications major, professional communications major, but I was writing at the Griff. Literally, I just went and joined like one of their meetings, and I was like, I'll do this, I'll do that. So I even have like the front page of like one of the year that I like was like, doing all of it. Just like always being able to like just jump into anything and everything, and the professors really encouraged me to do that.
I would do so many different things in a day. You would get your steps in for sure, my friend. On any given day, I'm working on a grant application. So sometimes that is, you know, sitting at a computer. It kind of feels like I'm a student again, because it's like, okay, tell me about your project. Tell me about this. Like you're answering the questions that you're going to be marked on so someone can decide if you're going to get funding. Sometimes you're going out and taking someone for a walk of the building because you need a quote for X, Y, or Z. There's so much involved, and it's no 2 days are the same.
A lot of our job is really just asking good questions. It is helping them frame what they need to frame. It is getting input from the people they need input from, synthesizing all of that, and then creating a product out of that, whatever that output is, whether that's, you know, sometimes that is a strategic communication strategy, sometimes that's just a strategic plan for an organization, sometimes that is a social change campaign. There's all kinds of outputs that we can create with that, but usually the output is sort of like the end of it. Oftentimes a lot of the work we do is at the front end, of understanding what needs to happen first, and then we develop a final product that evolves over time.
I am the person that I will put myself out there and I will try the thing, and the worst thing someone can say is no, and the best thing they can say is yes. And that can take you down the craziest of paths. And that's actually how I ended up in grant writing.
I was so solidified in like becoming a teacher. So then when I was like in it and I didn't want it, I didn't know how to get out. So I need to be more malleable, more flexible. And then it's like, when you find something like you don't like, it's not failure. It's like a realignment.
You do so much work with people in communications in general, but I mean, heck, at this point in life in general, you think that you're going to leave school and people are actually going to want to do the group projects? That is not the case.
You're never doing communications alone. And if you are, then you're probably doing it badly. So.